It's Dr. Amy here, president and co-founder at Animal Chiropractic Education Source. We're not out on the driveway today because it's windy. I wanted you to be able to hear me. We're kind of at the end of an era. I noticed this most prominently yesterday. So the A.C.E.S ranch was built by a guy named L.G. Mosley. He was a billionaire here in Texas, and one of those kind of people who, from the age of about 11 years old, had been working his whole life. I don't think he went to college, but he did get some kind of a college correspondence course at some point. He told me about that once. And one of the reasons that I wanted to share a little bit of his story with you is this. LG was the essence of an entrepreneur. He owned businesses, he started businesses, he created things that from nothing. And he is the person who owned and built the ranch here at A.C.E.S. Not only that, but he had his family, I want to say compound, in Lancaster, Texas, which is closer to Dallas. It was basically an entire street of luxury homes that he built and his family lived on for years. In 2024, LG died. And in 2025, his wife, Jennifer, also died. They were in their late 80s. And so they lived really full lives. But the important point here is he built these extravagant homes. They had ballrooms and swimming pools and lots of bedrooms and lots of bathrooms and lots of living space. And they weren't just plain square boxes either. Each of these houses has unique architecture, unique styling. I mean, if you've been to the A.C.E.S ranch, you know that we have, it's not like he went out and bought some kind of exotic exotic wood that is no longer available. But what he did was he used regular stuff and made it intricate and ornate. So his crews were guys who hadn't been to college and were great at building and could do all kinds of, shaping materials. And that's why here at the A.C.E.S Ranch, you see these arches, you see the dropped ceilings, you see the molding, everything's got all the baseboards, all the crown molding, all of those things are artistic. And some of the best places that most people don't see are actually in our bedroom, because there are arches that are literally made from straight pieces of wood cut in very small pieces with angles so that they create an arch. And his house in Lancaster was no different. He wasn't a guy who sat around and waited for things to be perfect. He wasn't a guy who sat around and waited for life to be what he wanted. He went through lots of hardships in his life. He lived in his car when he was young. He, remembers capturing armadillos so they would have dinner. He remembers working in the cotton fields with his mother. So sometimes a hard life is not a bad thing. They say hard times build strong men, and strong men build, make things easy for their kids, and then their kids create more hard times because they don't really embrace the joy or the gift that it is to do the hard work. If you've read my other posts recently, you'll see that Dr. O is one of those people. You know, he embraced the hard things, and he used those to find the energy and the excitement to go build something new. Many of our doctors these days really want Animal Chiropractic 101, but they're very hesitant because life isn't perfect. They have, you know, something coming up in a month, something coming up in a week, something that could come up maybe next year, and they are hesitant to start the next thing that could literally change their lives and actually make all those things that are coming up easier. If you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor who has not added animal chiropractic to your practice, and yet you've seen yourself as having hard times in life, it's time to embrace those hard times and let them create the life you really want. Find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com, where we help you, we will train you, we will support you through those hard times. Because here's the secret. LG and Dr. O didn't do it alone. They were smart, and they created a community of people who could support them and help them get to their goals. And oftentimes finding the right community is the hard part. If you're a veterinarian or chiropractor and you don't know where to find that community, Animal Chiropractic Education Source is that community. Find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com.